Hello, this is Dr. J, back with some more Let's Play Command & Conquer. We are finally switching back over to GDI for just a single mission. We are going to move on to GDI Mission 3. Pushing down into Lavia.
I know I promised more deep background on Kane and Nod, but there'll be time for that later. Carter says you hit the ground fighting. Nice job. Now we need that again. Somewhere in this section is a Nod base. It's protected against airstrikes by Nod SAM sites. Knock them out so Colonel Morelli can provide air support. That should make it easier for you to take out the base. I'll be out of the loop for a couple of days doing civvy time at the UN. Don't let me down.
Okay, so now perhaps you see why I've decided to do this mission after the previous one. Well, I think that, good grief, it's obsessed with this track. It is obsessed. There we go. Here it is. Let's go with Act on Instinct, the quintessential Command & Conquer track. Now you might see why I decided that these missions made sense to do narratively one after the other. Now, granted, the previous Nod mission took place in Africa, and this mission takes place in Europe, so they're not in the same location. However, the implication in the text briefing from the previous mission was that Nod has just kind of newly acquired SAM sites in general, and so we can assume that they're now being deployed all across the territories where Nod and GDI are fighting one another. And so that has become a problem for GDI, and so now we're going to have to deal with it as the GDI commander. The Nod SAM sites are interfering with our ability to launch airstrikes with our A-10 Warthogs, so we have to take them out. And that is going to be a mechanic in all of the GDI missions moving forward, where if we take out all of the Nod SAM sites in a mission, then we will gain access to airstrikes. Generally speaking, this is not going to be extremely useful, because there will usually be SAM sites inside the enemy bases, so by the time you destroy all the SAM sites, you've pretty much won the level anyway. But it is a mechanic we will keep in mind. You may also notice that, as I said, I have decided to play at a lower game resolution. Now, as it turns out, this is not actually going to help me at all. Why? Because my window resolution just shrinks to match the resolution of the game that I'm at. So everything is still just as small to me now as it was before. Why have I bothered doing this then? Well, because I think everything will look a little bit bigger and hopefully a little bit easier to see for you viewers. So I'm doing it for you. You're welcome. But yes, I'm going to continue having difficulty seeing what the heck is going on because everything is just the size of a postage stamp on my screen. Now you may be wondering, well, Dr. J, why don't you just play in full screen mode, and then the size of the game will scale up to match the resolution that you are playing at. Sure, but, as I have discovered, if I play the game in full screen mode, it completely borks my desktop resolution and causes all kinds of problems. So that's not really viable, unfortunately. So probably what we're just going to do for the remainder of the playthrough is run at this resolution for the sake of the viewers, and I will just have to deal with not really being able to see what I'm doing all that well. Now, in this GDI mission, the only real new unit that we have access to build is the Grenadier. Now, as I discussed previously, I don't especially like Grenadiers because they're very explodey. Now, I'm going to want a few of them because they are much better at taking out heavily armored targets like the SAM sites that are scattered all over the map. However, I do expect them to cause a lot of collateral damage and to sometimes just lose a huge group of them all at once when a single one explodes, and for them to cause a lot of friendly fire by throwing grenades into each other. So I'm still going to be relying primarily on minigunners. And I will construct a few, build, etc. I can't help it, it's the terminology the game uses as well. I will still train a few engineers in the hopes of sneaking some of them into the enemy base and causing shenanigans. Because we all love engineer shenanigans. It is a little unfortunate that we can't build any vehicles yet, but then it is only Mission 3. Still very, very early in the campaign for the GDI side. But this is kind of the first GDI mission where we're really up against a proper enemy force. I mean, sure, the enemy had a base back in Mission 2, but it was a pretty pathetic little base. This time we can expect a little bit more opposition. That's what's going on, and my guys are too stupid to fight back as the enemy rocket soldier hits them from afar. Alright, looks like I should probably start sending forth this infantry army that I have built. Continue scouting with my Humvees. I still have failed to destroy that SAM site, haven't I? Alright. You know what, that single Grenadier is going to be the cause of all kinds of problems. I'm going to use him to scout and just send him off to get him killed. I think that I will just use minigunners in such large numbers that despite their low damage against armored targets, they'll still be able to get the job done. It's just much safer than using Grenadiers. Grenadiers' explodiness really makes them not a very good unit. Alright, that turret is annoying. We're going to go destroy it, even though the enemy will probably just rebuild it. As you can see, the turret is minimally effective against this horde of infantry. Oh no! Well, I was trying to get our engineer up out of the line of fire, and instead we wandered right into an enemy soldier. So that didn't work out very well. There's a sneaky fellow hiding behind the trees. We quickly eliminate him. Alright, we have another engineer who I can just barely see. I still have a few grenadiers in this group who are going to cause all kinds of issues. Let's separate them and use them for scouting. Alright. Replace the engineer that was killed, and we have one more. You go blast a hole in the enemy's wall. Do something useful. Oh, that turret has been busy destroying my Humvee scouting force, and I didn't even notice it was happening. I do have worse situational awareness at this lower resolution, so that is a bit of a problem. Alright, now Man, I'm just losing units everywhere. Did I lose a harvester? Oh no, no I didn't. He's right there. Okay. Why do I have a sneaking suspicion that there's... Okay, let's separate our engineers from the rest of the group. Is this a grenadier? Yes, we will use him for scouting then. My guys are really stupid about fighting back. The unit AI in this game is not bright. Another grenadier. Send him over here. And we will just continue building a horde of minigunners. The missions will certainly become more interesting once we're able to build a wider variety of unit types. Although when we can build tanks, it's mostly just going to be tank, 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 tank. So maybe it won't be that much more interesting. I will try to have a little bit of variety in the unit types that I build. But tank rushes are extremely effective, so they will be our mainstay once they become available. It takes quite a long time before that happens, though. Alright, I thought there might be a SAM site up there, but I was wrong. There isn't. Alright, we smoked out a couple of enemy units up there. Looks like another Nod patrol. Oh, and they're coming to fight my initial force. Silos needed. It is hard to produce units fast enough when there's no unit queuing and all you have available are infantry. But I will go ahead and build a silo. I really should just keep all of my units in one place so that I'm not getting attacked in multiple areas. And if something isn't happening on screen, it makes no noise. So until Ava says unit lost, you don't even realize anything is happening. Okay. Let's combine them and these guys into a single group. And we're going to make our way around this ridge and down to destroy this SAM site. Then we're going to plow up into the enemy base. I think we have more than enough units to finish them off now. So, enough messing around. Don't get saucy with me, Ava.
Building. Unit ready.
How many guys are here? At least a platoon, if not more. Anyway, our huge regiment of soldiers just moving up snake-like. Okay. Our vanguard is taking heavy casualties. Let's take out this annoying turret. The enemy doesn't seem to be rebuilding the other one we destroyed, so I guess the AI is not set to do that for this mission. Alright, take out the other turret. Okay, now let's go down and take out this other SAM site. Begin moving up some reinforcements. Alright, our guys are going to move through the Tiberium and take a big pile of damage from that. Not a whole lot we can do about it, unfortunately. I guess we could park guys at the bottom of the ridge here and attack the SAM site from that direction, but I've chosen not to do so. Alright, that was all the SAM sites. We now have the airstrike. At this early stage of the game, the airstrike is pretty underwhelming, because we only get a single plane. I believe the farther we get, or the further we get into the campaign, the more planes we get for airstrikes. Oh man, for a blind shot, that was pretty good. Once you have 3 planes, they can actually do some real damage. Let's take out this harvester. I don't even feel like capturing it with the engineer trick. Let's just go in and mop up the enemy base. We have more than enough guys to do that now. Honestly, I made more of a meal out of this mission than was warranted. Minigunners have a ridiculously short range in this game. I think that they get a slightly longer range in Red Alert, which is very welcome. Alright, we got their construction yard. Let's go ahead and build another barracks and start cranking out more engineers.
Construction complete. Primary building selected. Building.
And that's a job well done to us.
Unit ready. Not building captured. Building. Not building captured.
Oh, good grief, low power, really?
Ready.
Actually, you know what? We're about to capture the power plant anyway, so who cares? And did you think I had forgotten about this? I had not, though I'm bound to forget about it eventually. Alright, and after completing this mission, we are going to go back to the Nod campaign for just a little bit.
Not building captured.
Oh, there was one enemy unit left. That's irritating. One little infantryman. A rocket soldier at that. Let's go take care of him. Make another save, closer to our victory, just for convenience. And that's a job well done. Now, while the airstrike was not anywhere as good as was shown in that victory video, for a blind airstrike, it was actually pretty good, burning a number of enemy infantry to ashes. So, you know, well done to the airstrike team. Alright, I will now rejoin you back at the Nod campaign. So, see you in a moment. Okay, here we're back. And we've got 3 different paths to take here, and these are all variations of the same mission objective, which to me seems a little over the top. I'm not sure we really needed 3 versions of the exact same mission, but it is what it is, and we're completionists, so we are going to do all 3 of them, of course.
I was starting to trust you, but now Kane has asked for your services specifically. He thinks you can handle this. GDI has imported a nuclear detonator, and Kane's intelligence shows it hasn't even been unpacked yet. Since you seem so brilliant, sneak into the GDI base with a small task force, find the crate, and get out, if you can. And if you're lucky, I'll have a helicopter waiting for you.
Once again, I have absolutely no idea what that cutscene had to do with anything. So some interesting developments. Seth is starting to turn against us. At first, he seemed to really appreciate that we were a competent commander, but now he is becoming nervous and insecure about his own place in the Nod hierarchy because our continued successes are really attracting the attention of Kane now. And Seth is worried perhaps we're getting a little too big for our britches, that we are going to diminish him in the eyes of Kane by comparison with our own stellar service. That, of course, is going to turn into a major plot point in a few missions' time. Now, both a good thing and a bad thing about this mission, since there's 3 different variations of it, this is another pre-deployed mission. It's a good thing because the base building missions tend to take quite a bit longer, and if we had to do 3 different variations of the same mission in base building form, that would take a very long time indeed, and we'd be spending forever on the same mission. But it's kind of a bad thing in that the pre-deployed missions tend to be really tricky and sometimes a little bit annoying, and we have to do 3 different variations of this pre-deployed mission. So depending on how things go, we could have a bit of trouble with this and end up having to replay the missions a few times in order to get them right. We'll see. Yeah, so we are stealing a nuclear detonator from GDI. That's going to become extremely relevant. There is even not just a story device, but an actual game mechanic that revolves around the retrieval of these nuclear detonators. And here we can see that the Nearguds version of Command & Conquer has added Ride of the Valkyries to the list of tracks. Nope, don't let him squish us. Don't let him squish us. Run! Okay. Unfortunately, because our attention was divided, our southern force has suffered additional casualties. Yeah, these pre-deploy missions, they are not easy. Okay, it seems we've gone the wrong way entirely by going up onto that plateau. That's what I mean when I say that there's really no way to know where to go ahead of time. You just have to do the mission, and if you guess wrong and take too many casualties, well, do the mission again and go a different way this time. As I said, not the greatest mission design in the world, in my opinion. But it is what it is, and we'll just deal with it. I really don't feel like dealing with these Grenadiers, since this team has lost all of its anti-infantry capability. Searching for the enemy base where they're keeping their nuclear detonator. Oh, here's a road, so we may be getting close. And I'm getting annoyed with this fellow who won't stop following us. There's what I mean about how the squish is a little unreliable. It missed the first time. It did work on the follow-up. Okay, and we've got a whole squad of infantry coming after our tanks now. And they're smart enough to just run around to avoid the squish. Yeah, they are doing a really good job of avoiding being squished, so our pair of tanks here is in a spot of trouble. Now we're under attack by another medium tank. Okay, there's the enemy base over there. We have repeatedly, at every opportunity, picked the wrong direction to go. Our chances of finishing this mission on the first go are looking increasingly low. Unless the northern team can pull off a sneaky win through the back here. Okay, this attack bike or recon bike is having an awful lot of trouble with that piece of sandbag wall. Too bad we don't have any engineers, or we could capture the enemy construction yard. However, we have effectively found a back way into the enemy base. But the stupid recon bike has now attracted the enemy's attention by shooting one of their buildings. Okay, we finally found the nuclear detonator. However, I have a sneaking suspicion we're not going to be able to escape with it. Oh, maybe we can. Okay, if nobody pursues the attack bike, and we make it up onto the plateau where our evacuation is waiting, then maybe it's a first try win for us after all.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Hey, I think we did it.
Accomplished.
Alright. Well done to us. Now we have to do it 2 more times. I'm going to feel pretty full of myself if I can get a first try win on the other variations of this mission as well. Anyway, see you in a second for... That is so annoying. See you in a second for version B of this mission. Okay, time to do Nod 6B. And since it's the exact same briefing, we'll go ahead and skip it. Okay. It is not wise to have the incredibly fragile recon bikes in the front, so we're going to send them into the back. Which turns out to be a wise move because the enemy attacks us immediately. Oh, and our infantry are going to get squished by the enemy's tank. Okay. Let's send our attack buggy forward to do some scouting. Relatively large map this time. Okay, so we see that there's a big pile of infantry waiting for us, including a lot of anti-armor infantry. Are all our guys rocket soldiers? We could really use some regular infantry. I have a feeling most of them got squished by the medium tank. So this is going to be difficult. Our attack buggy scout didn't even live long enough to determine if that's the right way to go. Oh, good grief. Grenadiers. So much more effective in the hands of the AI. There we go. Unless we successfully micro them. I don't want to lose my other buggy to scouting operations, so I'm just going to assume that that whole direction is a dead end. Kind of looks like a dead end, and there is a road here, which to me suggests that might be the path forward. We have a very strong anti-armor force, but almost worthless for anti-infantry, so of course we're attacked by infantry constantly. Still, we're making do so far. Got some guys coming from the north attempting a sneaky flanking maneuver. Maybe we can keep ahead of them and not have to deal with them at all. Oh, maybe they're just on patrol, as they don't seem to be pursuing us. And We are down our minigunner, so now this attack buggy is the only anti-infantry we've got. Another grenadier. Don't bother with the civilians, guys. We've got bigger fish to fry. I just said don't bother with the civilians. Oh, good grief. My men are too bloodthirsty. We cannot contain their rage and violence. I noticed that unlike the previous version of the mission, our... Really? We could have just gone that way? Alright, well, it seems I chose poorly. And we are now completely out of anti-infantry forces, so... This is looking grimmer and grimmer for us. Probably should have gone this way after all. But I noticed, unlike the previous version of this mission, our forces were not divided into two separate teams. So... We don't have another group that can do a sneaky run to the back entrance of the enemy base. That doesn't necessarily mean that there is no other way to reach a back entrance into the enemy base, but we were not separated into two groups for that purpose, at least. Alright, well, Rocket Troop versus Rocket Troop is a fair fight, at least. I'm glad that they didn't come at us with grenadiers. On the other hand, a minigunner is actually terrifying against my current force, but he was almost dead anyway. Last time, a sneaky recon bike was able to use his speed to grab the crate and then make a getaway. We'll see if we can pull off the same plan again. Two bridges, not sure which one we should cross. My intuition is telling me to try this one. Alright, enemy Humvee shouldn't be too much of a threat against all this anti-armor. Although he would certainly make a mess of the rocket soldiers, the bazookas. Oh, we have a minigunner. He probably came out of one of our destroyed vehicles. He's nearly dead, so he's not going to last long. Our forces make our way slowly across the bridge. The pathfinding in this game is not great, and it does not deal with bottlenecks well at all. In fairness, this being a very early RTS, not only were pathfinding algorithms not yet particularly well developed, but CPUs didn't have enough power to do really exceptionally good pathfinding. Okay, the sneaky recon bike strategy might work. Maybe. Run, run, run. Go, guys, go! Okay. Alright, looks like we pulled it off again. This time, let's not forget to make a save. We're going to be needing that because the next Nod mission is yet another three-way branch. Man, the Nod missions branch like crazy. Which I guess helps make up for the fact that there's less Nod missions in the basic chain than there are GDI missions. So despite his implied threat that he might not have an evac helicopter waiting for us, Seth does in fact come through for us with the chopper, so that's good. Alright, well, that's 2 out of 3 missions down. See you in a moment for the third and final variation of this mission. Alright, we're back, and it's time to do the third and final variation of Nod Mission 6. Okay. No, I did not want to select that one dude. I wanted to select all the people that I box selected, if you please. Alright, we only have a single recon bike this time, which is unfortunate because using the speedy recon bikes appears to be a pretty good tactic for snagging the nuclear detonator and then escaping with it. While the rest of our forces distract GDI. Oh no! Ugh, of course that happens. Of course the rest of my forces encounter nothing and the recon bike runs into a grenadier. Man, that guy was just gunning for it. He really had it in for that, or out for that recon bike. Oh, there's a Humvee. Got a rocket soldier. Oh, more enemies trying a flanking maneuver. Fortunately, we had our flame soldiers right there to take them out. They were, by coincidence, well positioned. I don't know if it's going to be super loud in the video, but this track sounds real loud in my headphones. Okay, maybe try not to provoke the medium tank into squishing everybody. I think I was concerned over nothing. He seemed pretty determined to just sit there and take our hits. Another Humvee here. Okay. Flame soldiers have a tendency to kill each other just like grenadiers do. I'm not a big fan of either grenadiers or flame soldiers because of all the friendly fire issues. And our tanks and rocket soldier are having an incredible problem with this lone infantryman. Okay, we managed to squish him. Oh, we have quite the pursuit squad coming after us. Okay, we better hurry it up, guys. Quit being so slow. Alright, we found the enemy base. Good. The enemy guard towers are currently attacking our main force, so if we're lucky, we can find the enemy's nuclear detonator with our... There it is! We don't even have to blast our way in. Okay, let's get out of here. Recon bike. Go, go, go. Alright, and I think that's well done to us.
Reinforcements have arrived. Mission accomplished.
And victory. First try win on all 3 variations of that mission. Well done. To me. I'm great. Just kidding. Wait for the obnoxiously loud explosion sound. Okay. So next, we're heading back over to GDI. It is once again a narratively appropriate point to do so, as we will see. And then we're actually going to be sticking with GDI for like 7 consecutive missions, including the variations, or rather not including the variations. Like, if you toss the variations in, I think it's going to be like 10 or 11 or something total missions. So yeah, buckle down for a whole lot of consecutive GDI, which will kind of even out the fact that we've really been focusing on Nod for these early missions. So that's what we're going to be doing, starting with the next video. Hopefully you'll join me for that, and I will see you then.